Johnny Turbo's Arcade presents Heavy Barrel.
Hi everyone, this is Autopostrophe. Let's revisit Johnny Turbo's Arcade Heavy Barrel. Unfortunately, I had some audio problems yesterday, so for those of you who care about commentary. So I had some choice words for this conversion, and not good choices. But let's look at our options, where we just have options to change the way the screen is rendered. None of which are good choices except for none. You can rotate the screen because I think this game was originally a fully vertical game. So if you want to do Tate mode, you can. And that buzzing noise? Yeah, that's not what... That's just something you're imagining. This whole game has a constant buzzing noise in the background. I'm not sure what happened with this conversion, but they really didn't put any good time into it. So unfortunately, this is the old school style of twin stick conversion. The original game had a stick that you could twist around, much like the SNK games. What happens usually is, like in the SNK collection, they decided to change that control scheme so that it matched a more modern twin stick control. But this game, in its conversion, is the old school style of conversion, where you have a button that will turn your character one frame at a time, or you can use the right stick to turn your character a frame, but you don't shoot in the direction that you point like you would expect in a twin stick game. Unfortunately, this leads to really clunky controls, and you can't quite get any precision out of it. In the arcade game, this was mitigated because it was a physical design. So you could actually spin that controller pretty fast and react quickly, but in a game like this, where you don't have that same control scheme and it hasn't been reprogrammed to work as a traditional twin stick game, it becomes incredibly frustrating to play. I mean, the emulation already has its share of problems. Like I said, there's that constant buzzing noise. There's some of the slowdown, which was also present in the original arcade game, so I'll forgive it for some of the slowdown, because it was never really a great running game. But this control is unacceptable. I mean, it is not fun to play this game when you have this half-assed conversion, control conversion. Because then you just ultimately get frustrated on which way to point the stick and which way to turn. The turning is not responsive. You can also use the buttons to turn if you want, but the buttons have their own share of problems in that you cannot shoot and use the left and right triggers at the same time. So you can turn your character, but you can't turn and shoot. You can use the control stick to turn and shoot. However, the control stick is very sensitive. So even just pushing on this control stick just for more than just a quick second will turn you constantly. So then you end up overturning many, many, many times throughout the course of this game if you use the control stick. Now, as I said, it's a frustrating mess. It's a real shame too, because I really love this game. So I was looking forward to it. I even pre-ordered it, but this is just... It is not very fun to play. They really should have spent the extra time to adjust the controls to fit a more modern control scheme, much like the SNK collection did, or if we go even further back, like the Capcom collection did when they decided to do Forgotten Worlds on the PlayStation 2. That's another game that had a special rotary controller. They could spin around. It was like a disc that you spun around. But they changed that game into a twin stick game. And that game was all the better and even more fun with that control scheme. I hope by the time they do Midnight Resistance, which was the sequel to this game, that they decide to put more effort into the reprogramming. Because, like I said, this is a mess. You will not have fun playing this. And if you have your friend playing, then they will also not have fun. Look at that. I mean, I just want to turn simply. I don't want to overturn. But it's almost... It's so hard to do on the control stick. And these are not the kind of games that traditionally get fixed with patches or anything. So, I mean, this is kind of what you're going to get. As I said, it's super lazy. I understand that this is it's not really a full price title, but it is, you know, $8 or $10 maybe, depending on where you are. And that's an awful lot for an old game. And it's especially a lot for an old game that doesn't play well either. I think it's hard to justify the purchase price of this, even though the game itself is actually pretty fun. The source material is good, but the conversion is not. I don't know. I mean, it's a tremendous misstep. I mean, I just get frustrated playing this game because I'm not sure how to control my character. In the arcade, it was a special controller, so you had a much better grip on where to point your character. This one, no. So I'll try to play through this. I don't think I can get all the way through this, and it's too frustrating. You know, and then compound that with the inability to choose all of the arcade dip switches, all the settings that you could if it was if you had the arcade board. You know, these JTA games are. It's nice to be able to relive those pieces of history, especially for people who were not as familiar with the arcade games. But you gotta do them right. You know, you can't do them wrong like this. You know, people are gonna get the wrong impression of this game. And really, this played nothing like this. I mean, so you know, the only time you're gonna get a good experience is if you find an old arcade game in this. It seems like. And so one can only hope that they decide to put some extra effort into Midnight Resistance. But this is a mess. The sound's a little off. The game even has, I think, some additional slowdown that wasn't in the arcade game. You know, and the Switch is way too powerful of a system. I mean, it has for emulation of this game. It's well beyond the power of the Switch to emulate this correctly. So when you see messy translations like this, it just makes it all the more disappointing.
Heavy barrel. Attack.
Ah, damn. Even things like just rapid fire, which you know is a full offering from the Arcade Archive series. I mean, they just don't bother putting these things in the JTA games. And if they really want to preserve the memories from these games, I mean, they just gotta try harder. Ah! If only this had better controls. See, I thought I was pointing diagonally, but nope, I'm actually pointing directly to the side. Because I spent just a millisecond pushing too far left on the control stick. This is just not the way this game should have should have been made. I can't even say if you're a hardcore fan of the arcade game or the Nintendo game that you should get this. You will not have fun. Yeah. So frustrating. Man, look at all these enemies, I mean, it's crazy. And without good controls, it just a waste of your time. It's just walking on the air. What?
Heavy Barrel! One. Go! Go! Two.
Yeesh.
Go!
Oh my god. Guys are so annoying. Oh my god.
Go! Attack! Attack! Go! Attack! Go! Go! Four. You die, you die, you die, you die, you die, you die, you die.
Ah, damn.
You die, 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 you die.
Hey, I don't know what he wants me to do.
You die, 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 you die. Go! 5. Attack! 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 Go! Go! Go!
Ah, even the explosions hurt you.
Go!
Sound is really messed up in the emulation. Congratulations, you have accomplished your mission. Dismantle your secret weapon. You saved the land from disaster. Thanks for playing Data East USA Incorporated. No thanks for this shitty translation. God, this emulation sucks. You know, the other Johnny Turbo arcade games, are nowhere near this bad. And granted, they were emulating things from they've been emulating games that are much less complex than this. But you know, there's no excuse for this. This should run better. This should control better. This should sound better. And yeah, I can't suggest anybody pick this up. If you have fond memories of it, then you know, there are other methods to play this game that are much more accurate, and you know, this is not the way to go. It's a real shame. I said I like the game. I love the source material, but playing this is just terrible. Pick up the SNK 40th Anniversary Collection. That you're going to have a much better time with those twin stick games because they control properly. Anyway, this is Audap. You're watching Heavy Barrel on Nintendo Switch. Don't get it. It's not worth your time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.